بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أحمده وأصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال عز وجل مكروا ومكر الله والله خير الماكرين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب. Let me share with you today something extremely important. I'm going to share with you something that has become the state of Israel's and with the recent events that have happened in Israel. But in order to understand what is going on in Israel, what type of politics is, because this politics and finances cross each other, right? And so what is the biggest source of money and a diplomatic tool for Israel, and why, despite the world's pressure of not being told not to have illegal settlers in Palestine, why would Israel continue to give itself a bad name by allowing settlers there? There are many factors to this, but I'm going to talk about one of the major ones right now. And this is something every Muslim should know. But knowing about this is not going to change anything. But knowing about this will create an awareness of what type of du'as we need to be doing and gives us a better idea of where things are going. Okay, first is this book. It is called The Palestinian Laboratory: How Israel Exports the Technology of Occupation Around the World. Okay, the Palestinian people de facto have become a laboratory for security companies, technology companies, surveillance companies, quote unquote jassasa. The Palestinian people have become the best laboratory of surveillance. And 40% of the product of Israeli surveillance is bought by dictators in the Muslim world. Saudi Arabia recently bought the very powerful, maybe the most powerful cyber tool called the Pegasus. Okay, and recently in the whole situation that is unfolding in Pakistan with Imran Khan, you may also have noticed that a lot of phones have been tapped, a lot of people's private conversations have been recorded. This is the work of technologies like Pegasus that have been made by the state of what they call Israel. Okay, now let me just give you some examples of this laboratory called the Palestinian people. Please, Palestinian people need to understand this, because if they understand how they're being used, then it will give them insights from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they're turning towards Allah, of how to counter this. But the Palestinian people are being used as a laboratory to understand surveillance. And that is then being exported to the world. For example, it is being exported to India so that they can control the people in Kashmir, so that they can control the people in different parts of the world. Let me just share a few examples of this with you in a very concrete form. Okay? And if you ever wanted to understand what fasad in the world means, now, how Israel became a hub for surveillance technology. Israel's cyber warriors are increasingly taking their skills to the private surveillance industry. And now Israel, the self-proclaimed startup nation, is selling its products around the world to governments that want to spy on their own citizens. So that's what Israel is doing. And this, when you tell a dictator, when you tell a politician, I'm going to give you the tool that can help you blackmail anyone. I'm going to give you the tool that if you become our friend, I'll give you this tool and you can control your people. You can spy on your people. This is like, for people that are ambitious and evil and black-hearted, this is like a gold mine of power, right? To undermine your political opponents and to control the population that you want to control. And so now they have this surveillance system that's being exported around the world because of what Israel's government is investing in. Okay, and who are the lab rats of that technology? It is the Palestinian people. Now let's continue to something a little bit more concrete. The United States has a big problem with people coming across the Mexican border into America. The U.S. Border Patrol and an Israeli military contractor, in fact, it is Israel's #1 contractor, an Israeli military contractor, are putting a Native American reservation under persistent surveillance. Albit Systems, which touts its product as field proven on Palestinians, was contracted to build a high-tech surveillance system in Tejano and this land. Okay, so you create surveillance products, you test them on Palestinians, and then you show that this is field proven. And then you sell this to the United States of America, and America will buy this because it wants to control people, just like all other politicians want to control the people. And so the Palestinian people, before they quote-unquote get rid of them, which is what the far right wants to do, the business people in Israel, the startup nation part of Israel, wants to use the Palestinian people as lab rats to see how surveillance can be best done. And it's not limited to just that. It also has aspects of human psychology, other aspects, because they have the biggest prison system, the biggest laboratory of human beings in the entire planet. And then that facade that they create there is then exported to everywhere around the world. British police may deploy Israeli drone used to kill Palestinians. British police may deploy Israeli drone used to kill Palestinians. It's field tested. It's tested in the world's largest laboratory. So obviously, the British police would be very interested in this. Let's inshallah continue. Israeli firm Celebrite sold phone hacking tools to Uganda's brutal dictatorship. Okay, let's continue. I was talking about Pegasus earlier. What you need to know about Israeli spyware. Israeli company has been linked to governments exploiting its technology to spy on journalists, activists, politicians, and of course, the citizens of the country. Being sold to dictators. Who would want a technology like that except the people that want to control other people? Like the Saudi government. Many of you will be aware of how in Pakistan, journalists, politicians, senators, judges, their private conversations are being recorded. How are they being recorded? What is this technology? Israeli spyware allegedly used to target Pakistani officials' phones. Okay, so this is happening around the world now, for example, to keep Imran Khan out of the government despite the will of the Pakistani people. This is how this technology is being used for facade. Is being used to try to control the population. In an effort to deepen the militarization of its borders, the EU buys it's called Militarv drones manufactured by Israeli companies. The drones have been battle tested during air raids in Gaza Strip. Facial recognition powers automated apartheid in Israel, report says. The Israeli government is using computer vision to monitor Palestinian travel across checkpoints, according to the report. So now all their checkpoints and the movement of the people, the movement of the citizens, the movement of the Palestinians will be monitored by AI. Okay, and so it's going to be automated. And so it's automated apartheid. Right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to then sell this to other countries for a price. And this is how Israel will rise. Okay, because everyone's going to need or want, every politician, every corrupt politician, every rich man, every billionaire, everyone's going to want a piece of Israeli government's new tools. And to get their new tools, you must, okay, you must agree to then the terms that they give you to have those tools. And the amount of money Israel spends on R&D, research and development, 4% of its budget, more than any other country. I think the US is about 2%, Britain is about 2%, like I think twice the much of even the most richest countries. They spend their money on research and development, and the laboratory for that is where? The Palestinian people. So this book, The Palestinian Laboratory, How Israel Exports the Technology of Occupation Around the World. I just want to read this to you, how Israel is making a killing from occupation of Palestine. Israel's military-industrial complex uses the occupied Palestinian territories as a testing ground for weaponry and surveillance technology that they then export around the world to despots, meaning dictators, and democracies. For more than 50 years, occupation of West Bank and Gaza have given the Israeli state invaluable experience in controlling an enemy population, the Palestinians. And here is that they have perfected the architect of control of human beings. And this is exactly, okay, the type of control that will lead to the type of control that the Dajjal will have over the people. From the Pegasus software, that hacked Jeff Bezos and Jamal Khashoggi's phones, the weapons sold to the Myanmar army that has murdered thousands of Rohingyas, and drones used by European Union to monitor refugees in the Mediterranean who are left to drown. Israel has become a global leader in spying technology and defense hardware that fuels the global's most brutal conflicts. As ethno-nationalism grows in the 21st century, Israel has built the ultimate model. Consider on top of that all the other agendas that are there for this regime. I'll be talking now about something, or I might talk about it next time, but what I want people to understand in this short video is that wherever you see videos being leaked of politicians, or wherever you see spyware or spy warfare, which is like the new and considered amongst the biggest threats in the world right now, is this whole cyber warfare, where through cyber warfare, because the whole government's now, especially after COVID, the whole government's on internet. Everything is on internet. And so, you know, if you want to fight a government, you fight against it online. And who is the expert of that? Who has control of the virtual world? Who has control of the cyber world? Well, it's those people who've developed the best spy capabilities, the best, you can say, surveillance capabilities. They have the most control now, you know, because of how much of the, you know, you have entire police departments, entire fire departments, entire governments that are, everything is online. And so with this, and you all know how many people have been blackmailed and extorted, and in some of this extortion has been done using the spywares made in the state of Israel. Okay, so this is fasad fil ard, and this is you know, inna ya'juj wa ma'juj la mufsidunna fil ardi, right? So this is kind of like the fasad that is being created around the world, and this is a major part of that, because of the hadith of Tamim al-Darmi radiyallahu an, about what was the animal that they met, Jassasa, the one that spies. And this spying, this ability to spy, and the world to spy, and the world is corrupt enough to spy, wanting to spy on people and subjects and citizens to control them, to spy on activists to control them. This is the future of the world. A big part of the future of the world. So what's the next plan for the Palestinian people? It is to agitate them through the settlers, as has been happening, to create emotions, to spark emotions, and then test them as lab rats. Okay? And what is the solution for the Palestinian people? How can they get out of this surveillance state that is being created to monitor them. And that is that the Palestinian people also must also start finding ways to be out of the grid, out of the Palestinian, you can say the Israeli, out of the cities. They must go into rural areas. If they want to have security, they must go in by rural areas. They must study these spyware and understand what will confuse these spywares, what type of masks, what type of clothing, what type of whatever type of technology, or it doesn't even have to be smart technology. Sometimes smart technology can't deal with old technology, but what type of systems can be made that would not allow them to do what they're doing as much as possible. But one thing is for sure, Palestinians must move away from the cities. They must move away from the cities, except in the case of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem we cannot let go of. So I just wanted to let you understand this, that what is happening right now is Israel is in the state of being a new, a startup nation. It's on a new phase of its history, and it's in the beginning phase of this new history of its history. And in this phase, what they're doing is they need the Palestinian people to test the gadgets that they're making, the technology that they're making, and Israel is trying to be the leading people at the very forefront of technology itself, at the very forefront of AI itself, and it is then using the Palestinian people to kind of like test it on the ground and then export this to whoever is willing to buy it for the highest price and at the cost of accept Israel for what it does and accept Israel for what it is. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before I end, I want to say I have a few projects in mind. I'm looking for funds, inshallah ta'ala. If you can go, if Allah puts it in your heart, go to the comment section, the pinned comment section. You'll find there a link where you can help me with any donations in PayPal, inshallah ta'ala. If you can do that, if Allah puts it in your heart, may Allah bless you. I would be greatly appreciative, because I'm trying to start some new classes, and I'm trying to there's a book I'm trying to write that's taking a long time, and if I can hire some people to do some of the technical aspects, inshallah ta'ala, that would be really great. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I think I've said enough for now, even though I had a lot more to talk about, but inshallah I'm just going to leave it limited to this point. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.